All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. Terence Bud Crawford hits another milestone in his career, but at the same time, underperforms and may actually have done boxing a favor, as now we know that his options are looking a certain kind of way. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. In this video, we're going to be in the 154-pound division, which is hot as a firecracker now that Terence Bud Crawford is a champion in that division after his win against Israel Madrimov. In the fight with Madrimov, and I think this is a fair thing to say, Terence Crawford did not look that good relative to how he usually looks, or he's gotten people used to seeing him fight in the welterweight division. He goes the distance with Madrimov and looks wholly human in the effort. So what does that mean for what's going to go on in the future? Obviously, you know, Terence Crawford wants fights with guys like Canelo Alvarez, but other people want fights with him, like the 147-pound champion for the IBF, Jaron Boots Ennis. And the way that I see this fight having taken place for Terence Crawford, it doesn't seem as if Terence Crawford is going to be in much a position to get a lot of demand for the fight with him and Canelo Alvarez. Because to tell you the truth, Terence Crawford looks too small for Canelo Alvarez. Israel Madrimov is a good fighter, very good fighter, even though he had 10 wins, only had 10 fights, as Terence Crawford has pointed out. He had 300 or a lot. I don't know if it's 300 or not, but Terence Crawford says 300 amateur fights, and you know for one thing for sure, as old as Madrimov is and as fast as they're pushing him, you know he has all that experience. However, Madrimov, I do not believe, is Canelo Alvarez. Now, of course, I know what people are going to say, or I believe what people would say, or if I was in a Bud fan's position, I would say, well, you know, the way that Madrimov fights is not the same as how Canelo Alvarez fights. Madrimov was competing very well with Terence Crawford by using just a lot of feints, a lot of foot feints, a lot of hand feints, just being very, very patient, keeping Terence Crawford guessing. And Terence Crawford said, you know, in his post-fight, you know, sometimes he guessed wrong, or he tried to figure out where it was coming from and he figured wrong. I personally think that fight was a little bit more than just that with Terence Crawford. I think that it was looked like the age is starting to settle in. Looks like age is starting to settle in, but regardless, Israel Madrimov put on a very good show, but he's not Canelo Alvarez. So looking at a fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, it seems like, nah, that doesn't look as competitive as it did after the Errol Spence fight, the way that Terence Crawford did Errol Spence. So, yeah, man, I don't think he's going to get that Canelo fight. And if he doesn't get the Canelo fight, then what's the other big money fight? The other big money fight is Jaron Ennis. I like the Jaron Ennis fight a lot. And I'm telling you, it should sell and be more intriguing after the fight with Madrimov. Because, you know, people are going to say, hey, if Madrimov can do that well against Terence Crawford look human against him, maybe Terence Crawford will look even more human against Jaron Ennis. And Jaron Ennis that more than likely can put something behind that right hand that Terence Crawford got hit with over and over and over again from Madrimov. Jaron might be able to put a little something more a little bit something extra up on that straight right hand that kept landing like that. And also, man, I'm telling you, Jaron Ennis has the same ability to do what Madmarov did, because in my opinion, it wasn't necessarily just what was happening with the feinting and getting in and throwing at Terence Crawford with the feints that caused Terence Crawford problems. It was also Madmarov's very quick feet and good defense getting out of there when Terence Crawford returns fire, because Terence likes to be on the back foot, likes to counterpunch. Madmarov was coming forward on the front foot, but also was feinting and trying to get Terence Crawford to throw first so that Madmarov could counter. But whenever Madmarov did take the lead and threw a shot, maybe hit a straight right hand or an overhand left and tried to dip out of the way. By the time Terence Crawford, a lot of times through his 3-punch combination, Madmarov was already up out of there. He had already regained the spacing and was on the outside, was out of range for Terence Crawford. Now you got somebody like Jaron, who's taller and longer than Madmarov and has very quick feet like that and has the ability to get out of range too for combinations. Jaron Ennis saw that. So, hey, man, it seems like the type of fight that we need to get going on. And we need to get going on pretty soon before the getting, while the getting is good. And then the getting don't get too late, because it's not going to be a cakewalk for Terence Crawford moving forward, man. He's showing his age. Now, at 36 years old, he'll be 37 in his next fight. That is to be expected, that a fighter will start showing his age at around that age and around about 40 fights. However, and so I say that to say, I'm not trying to, talk down on Terence Crawford or anything like that. But man, it was really evident. It was really evident. And, the fight itself, though, was very, very good fight, man. Very good fight. But we do have the scorecards for the fight, and the scorecards, there was nothing really controversial about the scorecards other than the guy that had it 116, 113, Fernando Villarreal. He bookended this fight, man. He gave Terence Crawford the first 3 rounds. He gave Terence Crawford the first 3 rounds and the last 4 rounds. He got on a little bit of a streak there with that, man. But the rest of the scorecards, I think I agree with. 115, 113, 115, 113. I'm okay with those scorecards. I think those last 2 are good. I could have had it a draw, or could have had Madmarov winning. But as I said in my other video about it, I don't think, it's not to the point of thinking it's a robbery or anything. But look, man, Terence Crawford keeps fighting. Terence Crawford's going to have some difficulties. With that young boy, Jaron Ennis, that could be some problems for him. Also, I'm going to tell you, probably Tim Tszyu doesn't move around as much. But man, I'm kind of gutted for Israel Madmarov, because people ain't going to be in a rush to fight him after what he did with Terence Crawford. But that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.